Steve and Alan's pro tips in a short time. Learn a lot.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Alan. Today, I would like to help our listeners with some copyright reminders and also share an exciting resource they perhaps aren't aware of. Something very cheap, easy, and instantaneous. And it's something our music teachers can use themselves. It's not just for the professional arrangers and composers.
That copyright stuff is confusing. I feel like I can't keep up.
And you aren't alone, trust me. But, and you may not know this, you were one of the first people I ever met who understood the most important concept behind music and copyright.
Me?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes. When you hired me to write a marching band show, it was based on the music from Wicked, and you told me that you had contacted the publisher to get permission to have it arranged. That was over 20 years ago, and you were definitely in the minority of teachers at that time.
I find it hard to believe this, but I was one of the few people who knew you're supposed to contact a publisher for this?
Yes, but you also understood what I think is the most important underlying concept. When something doesn't belong to you, in this case, a piece of music under copyright, you need to get permission from the person who owns it before you can use it. Sometimes they'll charge you to arrange, sometimes they won't, but you must have their permission.
Yeah, I didn't know the specifics of the law, but I did know that part. It just makes sense. What are some common misunderstandings you're hearing from teachers now? That was a long time ago.
Well, I think we as a music education profession are collectively getting better about understanding copyright, but there are still a few things I think worth reminding our listeners. First, it doesn't matter if you are profiting from the use of the copyrighted material. I hear people say, well, I'm not making any money by making this arrangement, or my program isn't making any money with this arrangement.
Yeah. To me, that's kind of like, hey, I stole your iPad, but I didn't sell it or make any money on it, so it's okay. That logic does not quite hold.
Yep, exactly. And the other most common misconception is I'm a school and this is for educational use. And there are some instances where educational use can justify using someone else's copyrighted content. But I think it's easiest to just assume that in general, you can't photocopy content to make your own arrangements of copyrighted content, even if it's for school.
I've never really asked you personally, how do you feel about copyright laws as a guy who composes and arranges?
That's a good question. In general, I think it's a positive thing that our country protects artistic creations. So just like our laws say you can't take my iPad just because you feel like it, I think it helps promote further artistic creation when our laws tell Alan he can't use one of my compositions however he wants just because he feels like it.
Just devil's advocate, couldn't we make the argument that stealing your iPad deprives you of something? In this instance, your iPad. Whereas if I arrange one of your compositions, you still get to have that composition as something you wrote, right?
Totally agree. And that's what I don't like about the laws. They're difficult to understand, both from a legalese standpoint, but also from a basic conceptual standpoint. I think it's tough when the thing we are talking about isn't a physical thing and is instead an idea. But the bottom line is, this is my idea, so I should get to decide how it's used. Just like if I invent the idea behind some piece of technology, I get to have a say in how it's used or how much I can charge if I sell it to someone else.
Yeah, this reminds me of what you say about how we music teachers can sometimes be inconsistent. We say our subject is just as important as the other subjects, but when it's convenient for us to do so, we can treat it more like an elective. In this case, we should want artistic ideas to be protected and treated just like the law protects ideas in science and technology and medicine and so on.
Yes. And I do think it's getting easier to do the right thing. So back when you wanted permission to arrange the Wicked show, you spent a lot of time on the phone and email trying to figure out who to contact, making your case for why the existing published stock arrangements didn't fit for your group and so forth.
Yeah, that was at first it was kind of a fun treasure hunt, but it did end up being time consuming. They wouldn't return my calls or emails at first, and then I had to make a good case for it, and then I had to pay a lot of money to the publisher.
Yes, it was hard to do the right thing back then. And over the past couple decades, we've seen various resources emerge, and the process has become more streamlined, but it still could be very time consuming and expensive depending on what music you wish to use and which company you were using to secure the rights. But I am pleased to report that I think we finally have a resource that is legal, easy to use, very cheap, and instantaneous. It's the ArrangeMe platform from Hal Leonard.
I am not plugged into this stuff as much anymore. Hasn't that one been around for a while, though?
It has, but when the platform first launched, it was pretty limited. Their selection of songs was small. There were certain genres you couldn't arrange via their service. Most notably, show choir and marching band were not permitted. They also didn't allow you to arrange medleys or mashups.
Okay, but now, like, you can do all those things?
Yes, they've got over 5 million songs, and you can arrange in any genre, and they allow mashups and medleys.
So that's helpful for you as a professional arranger, but how would that help music teachers?
Great question. I think it's important for them to know about ArrangeMe for a few reasons. First, listeners should know that any music published via the ArrangeMe platform shows up in two locations right now online: Sheet Music Plus and Sheet Music Direct. Both have the same titles, though they differ in some ways. One of them, I can't remember which, sorry, takes school purchase orders, and the other doesn't. They both have slightly different layouts for previewing, but they both have the same titles and both sell PDFs, so you'll have to print your own music. They won't mail it to you.
Okay, so I shouldn't go to the actual Arrange Me site unless I'm the one doing the arranging. If I want to buy music, I go to Sheet Music Plus or Sheet Music Direct.
Correct. Music teachers should know that Sheet Music Plus and Sheet Music Direct now have countless ArrangeMe titles. The bad news is they're not edited, so they won't have the high quality demo recordings necessarily, but they're there. So you might want an arrangement of the newest Taylor Swift song for your group, but the big publishers don't have it in their catalog yet. Chances are good someone may have put it up there via ArrangeMe.
So it's not necessarily a great place to browse because there's too many options to sort through and there's no quality control. But it's good that so for example, like I know I want a brass quintet arrangement of Here Comes the Sun or a children's choir arrangement of a song from Moana. Wait, does Disney play nice? Do they allow Disney arrangements?
Yes, those are both great examples. And that whole, oh, Disney is off limits for arranging rumor, it's just not true. It's all basically available. And yes, if you have a specific thing you are looking for, search for it on Sheet Music Plus or Sheet Music Direct. Again, no guarantee it's going to be formatted nicely or even be any good, but you can at least see if it exists.
Cool. What else?
Listeners, you don't need to be some composing or theory genius to make your own arrangements. I think writing arrangements for your own group is a great way to improve your aural skills, score reading ability, and rehearsal techniques. And the students also think it's cool when you write something especially for them. And over the years, I've been asked this question a number of times. Hey, I just want to write a short, simple pep band-esque arrangement of fill-in-the-blank pop song for my choir, band, or orchestra. I'm not going to sell it to anyone. I just want to use it with my own group. Can I do that?
Wait, I want to show off that I was paying attention earlier. The answer is yes, you can do that, but you must get permission.
Good job, Alan. Yes, you're correct. It doesn't matter if money is changing hands, if you're giving it to someone else. If that music is owned by someone other than you, you have to get permission.
So what should they do?
Well, let's say that The Lion King Part 17 just came out. No arrangements yet for band, orchestra, or choir, but Disney wisely did release the basic piano vocal songbook for most of the popular songs.
Lion King Part 17.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to make the episode timeless. Just bear with me. So Disney released the piano vocal sheet music for the most popular songs from Lion King Part 17, which is great if I don't have an amazing ear to figure out the music on my own. I can purchase that sheet music, and then I can use it to make a simple arrangement of it for my band, orchestra, choir, guitar ensemble, or any other group.
And then you create an ArrangeMe account and upload your arrangement?
Yep. And then this part seems a little counterintuitive. Since I was the person to make the arrangement, I still need to go to Sheet Music Plus or Sheet Music Direct and pay to download my own arrangement. If I hand out the sheet music directly to the students, there's a violation of copyright law. But if I pay for it and download the PDF parts with the notification of copyright on it, it's all good.
But it still costs some money.
It does, but two things. One, it doesn't cost very much at all. And two, well, you don't have that choice. If I want some Sour Patch Kids from Target, I have to pay for them, even if I don't feel like it, because they don't currently belong to me. Also, once I've uploaded my Lion King Part 17 music, there is a chance that some other people might buy it, and I'll get a 10% commission.
Huh. I hadn't thought about that, but that's cool. Anything else our listeners should know?
I think some professional arrangers are aware of the ArrangeMe platform now, but it's still relatively new, and a lot of arrangers and music teachers are using their same process from a few years ago. So if you're using an arranger to write something for your program and they say, well, I handle all my licensing rights through XYZ company, you should ask them if they at least know about ArrangeMe and are willing to go that route, because it'll be a lot cheaper for you.
Are there any downsides of the ArrangeMe platform?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, Sheet Music Plus and Sheet Music Direct now have thousands of unedited titles on them. So it can sometimes kind of feel like searching for a needle in a stack of needles. Also, if you hire me to write a Wicked show for your marching band and I upload it to ArrangeMe, anyone can buy it. It's not exclusive just to you. I'm not allowed to upload it, have you purchase it, and then I immediately take it down.
Well, it doesn't seem like a huge deal, since by the time that arrangement would go up for purchase, most of our peers have already picked their show for the next year. So it seems unlikely we'd encounter someone else playing our same show the same year, right?
Yeah, that's what I think too. And again, since there are so many ArrangeMe titles available, someone would basically have to know to go looking for it, especially when it's only been up for a few months.
Where should our listeners go for more information?
Well, I'm not an attorney, but I do have a pretty good understanding of this material by now, and I do love talking about it. So please reach out. I'll help however I can.
Cool. Good deal. Thanks, Steve.
Steve and Alan's pro tips in a short time. Learn a lot.